Hello, Leo. Welcome to your weekly reading for May 19th to the 25th. This is for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and you know we're going to jump right into it, Leo. We are here. We are here. One of the highlights of the year, Saturn moving into Aries. That'll be the third of the four outer planets changing signs in this compressed period of time this year. It's history making, okay? Because you know there's more to it. You know there's more to Saturn moving into Aries, but we'll talk about that later, all right? But just know this is a landmark moment of epic proportion. Again, we've never seen what's happening here in modern human history. So we'll talk about that. You see what's happening on the same day, too. That we're going to talk about this. That's one of the strongest conjunctions of the year in your 10th house of fame. So let's break it down. I'm looking at what's going on for you. You're moving into one of the biggest spiritual transformations, and I'm going to break that down too. Remember, Saturn is separating from the North Node that's been in your 8th house of transformation, death and rebirth, regeneration. We'll talk about this. You're graduating, okay? So you're about to see some changes you've never seen in your entire life, okay? And you're already seeing a lot of them. You may have started seeing them, especially mid-March, right? It's all part of this great awakening. I've talked about 2025. I've said this in your 2025 forecast. The age of ascension. We're on the brink of the age of Aquarius. We're going through the age of wisdom. And so for now, let's just jump right in, okay? To the most stimulating, exciting, insanely optimistic, fruit-bearing, least boring week of May. All right? Remember the blue asterisk of the best aspects of the week. And they're all sextiles. They're all trines. And they're all the aspects. So this is a really big shift. And hey, yeah, you may be still experiencing the Uranus Cazimi from over the weekend. That was also in your 10th house of fame and career. And again, if you're not here for career, or you're retired, or you're not working, it's just wherever you're exerting your energy into what that you want to be known for, okay? And remember the Jupiter's with the nodes and Chiron still. You are doing a lot of transformation, healing for growth. And congratulations as well, because remember last week, and I said this in your monthly forecast, we only have 2 squares this month, right? And they're gone. We're done. And you made it. And it only gets better from this point forward in one of the most auspicious months of 2025. So let's get started. Oh, look at all this sunlight. Ooh, that's great. You know, the sun rules you. This is a great sign. Okay, so Tuesday, May 20th, you do have the sun sextile Saturn. So, and you see sun sextile Neptune as well. But sun sextile Saturn, that's happening at 29 degrees, an anaretic degree, critical degree. What comes after 29 in astrology? 0. So this is your graduation. This is the sun. Like I said, the sun is your ruler. This life force, optimism, energy, everything. And it's with Saturn. And remember, I said the past few months, if you work with Saturn, which is karma, Saturn's life lessons, you work with Saturn, you're going to be rewarded. And here you go. Here's your reward. Here's your diploma. Okay. You even got through the Saturn North Node conjunction. Those were big. Let me remind you, Saturn is in Pisces with the North Node in your 8th house. And so what does that mean for Leos? 8th house is death and rebirth. It's transformation. It's regeneration. It's also partnership, like building. Yeah. But it can be business partners if you're not here for love. It's both. It's also money. It's wealth building. It's inheritance, investments, bonuses, commissions, loans, royalties, joint bank accounts. And so now Saturn is giving you wings. That is the sun sextile Saturn, because these sextiles, remember, they're windows of opportunity that help you thrive and prosper. And remember, this is at 29 degrees before he moves into Aries at 0 degrees. The beginning of the beginning. And so you're going to have huge focus here. You're going to have a really big moment here. All week. This is strong. And remember what I said last week and even your monthly forecast. At this point, Saturn, who's usually really, really hard on you, is making things easy for you right now. All right. And yes, he will still test you, and he still tests you, and he is reality. So he gives you those reality checks. So you have the structure, so you have the discipline, and you have that commitment for the long term with where you've put your time and energy in. And for you, it was your 8th house. And now he's working with the sun in your 10th house of career and fame and public recognition and your reputation, honors and achievements. And he's building that bridge with the sun. So please remember, I always say, use these aspects. Don't let them use you. But Sun sextile Saturn is all about rewards and achievements and recognition and promotions and success. And it's happening in your 10th house of rewards and achievements and recognition. So you are definitely going to feel this moment, especially if you're Leo rising. But every Leo is going to feel this. And yeah, Saturn is the authority. So there will likely be some authority figures opening doors for you in some capacity, making things happen for you. This is amazing. And again, this is before he moves into Aries, before Saturn enters Aries, and you only get the Sun sextile Saturn twice a year. This is the last time this year. So please take that inspired action as you move into this week, because you're finishing up your lessons in your 8th house of transformation, moving into your 9th house. Okay. And again, we'll talk about that later, but Saturn will check in with you in September, FYI. But it's going to be just like, casual, like, oh, how you doing? If you're a cross watcher, if you watch for your rising or your moon, or for your husband, or for, your lover, your, sister, son, it doesn't matter. Everyone is going to feel this. Mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, as well as fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and I am going to throw in Capricorn and Aries. Y'all are going to feel this the most. And if you know your birth chart, your natal chart, if you have planets between 27 to 2 degrees in any of the mutable or fixed signs that I just mentioned, you're going to feel it the most. Now, on the same day, we move into Gemini season. Absolutely amazing. You're going to be social AF, all right? Because Gemini season is all about communication. It's learning new things. It's teaching. It's writing. It's traveling. It's marketing. It's advertising, PR, building bridges, launching businesses, local community, opening doors opening. But most of all, the curiosity for the new. Okay? Now, it just happens that Jupiter's in Gemini too. And it just happens Gemini rules your 11th house of networking, of your groups and your allies and benefactors and friendships and social groups, and even like LinkedIn community. It's communities. Yeah. The 11th house is also your future hopes, wishes, and long-term goals and dreams. So you are going to be busy, Leo, with communication. Gemini is so social, and it's all about the mind. So this is a time for the next 4 weeks where it is mind over matter, where it is power to attract, right? What you know you deserve. And so just look at your May forecast. I talk a lot more about Gemini season. I'll leave it at the end of this video in the description box. Just remember, you've got Jupiter and Gemini helping expand and grow things in your life, bringing you luck, good fortune, wisdom, optimism, abundance, everything I said. You've got this portal for 4 weeks, again, in your 11th house of your future hopes and wishes and dreams. You're building bridges, and you're going to be networking, and you're going to be social, and you're going to have a really fun time, because look at what's happening. It's not even on the whiteboard, but remember, on Monday, the week after, everything that's happening here is building up to the new moon in Gemini, which I've told you is one of the best new moons of 2025 because of what's happening. And as if you saw your May forecast, you know what's happening next week too, during that new moon. So please keep your lines of communication open, and you're going to see things happen. You're going to see things happen in a huge way. It's Leos are just so good right now. And I do want to remind you, everything that's about Jupiter is also faith, and it's belief, and belief is translated biochemically. That's why I always say vibrate at this high frequency to attract what you deserve. Okay? We know the law of attraction. We know how that works. Gemini is power of the mind, like I said, but Gemini is also the twin. You have the power of choice, okay? So choose self-belief and self-love and gratitude and compassion. Vibrate at that high frequency because everything is energy. And I have told you this in the past. When you've got Jupiter and Gemini, the twin, you see opportunities come in twos. So you're going to have choices. Everything is energy. Vibrate at that high frequency because remember, this is not just hermetic principles and manifestation. It is literal science too. Albert Einstein himself match the frequency of the reality you want, and you can't help but get that reality. Yeah, I use that quote a lot to remind you, okay? And I'm going to really emphasize it this week because guess what? Albert Einstein got everything he wanted. Yeah. And you're going to see a lot of these aspects play out for you in this amazing way. And I'm going to bring them up again. There's a reason why I'm bringing them up. Thursday, May 22nd, you got the Sun sextile Neptune. Yeah, this is big. This is big, okay? So this is at, 1 degree, 2 degrees? So all these degrees, it's the beginning. So you're on the brink of something new. And a lot of y'all already are in something new. You've been seeing things build up to something new in your life, okay? Now, the Sun, sextile Neptune in Aries, I mean, that's huge. Remember, that's that archetype of spiritual warrior, compassionate leader, visionary leader, hero energy for the greater good. So this is enormously auspicious with the Sun sextile Saturn. The Sun is this, full blast of energy. Jupiter is expanding. Now you got Neptune bringing in that heightened creativity and imagination and intuition and compassion, that visionary energy. Amazing, because this brings this level of spirituality in your life where you will just see the difference, right? So this is that time where you may be doing some meditation and mantras and really paying attention to your dreams. This is all about that self-belief. Vision boards. I told you what Neptune is. Visual. Visualize. Visionary. Visualize. Think about, Leo, I want you to do this. I want you to think about 6 months from now. I want you to think about a year from now. I want you to think about 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Your future, visualize it. Visualize what you deserve, where you want to be. Okay? I've told you the power of this because this is neuroscience as well. So please take that time and tap into your inner artist and musician, filmmaker, photographer, playwright. This is very creative energy, very artistic. Artists are going to have a blast with this in general, but also healers and scientists and metaphysicists. It doesn't matter. This is big, all right? This is really creative. Tim Burton, good example of someone born with, the Sun sextile Neptune. Tim Burton, Versace, right? Frank Ocean. Bette Midler, Mikey Madison, who just won that Oscar. So use this, please. Use this. It is happening in this great area of your chart. You remember the Neptune and Aries in your 9th house of spirituality and your belief system and self-belief and inner wisdom. This is amazing. Now, why is this amazing for you? Especially because look at what's happening the same day. You've got Venus trine Mars. 16 degrees. So Venus and Mars, the two cosmic lovebirds. First of all, you know what happens when they get together, all right? This is a powerful, harmonious aspect that, yes, we had Venus trine Mars in the past a couple times, but Venus was retrograde or Mars was retrograde or there was some other things happening. This is very different. It is like night and day, okay? And don't forget, Mars is in your sign. So who's going to feel this the most? You. Venus trine Mars, plain and simple, it's just fun. It's emotive. It's Riz. Yeah. As the kids no longer say. You got Venus in Aries, by the way. Mars in your sign, 2 fire signs. Sun in Gemini, Pluto in Aquarius, all this fire and air in general. This is magnetic, and you are Leos. You already are. This just amplifies your X factor. So please be social in all capacities. This is fun. This is in relationships, in work, wherever you want to apply this energy. Because again, Mars is in your sign. You can do whatever you want with this energy. And I told you in your monthly forecast, we don't get Venus trine Mars again until 2027. Please take advantage. This is creativity. This is creative projects. This is love. It's romance. It's sex. It's money. It's Venus. It's pleasures. It's family, children. It's wherever you want to put that energy. Okay? Passion. Passion is the big thing. So first dates. Oh, gosh. If you're going to first date, you're going to have fun. Go to the popcorn store. Whatever you want. Go shopping. We're talking about Venus here. Start a new hobby. This is all about doing something new too. You're going to feel this really strong. All right? You're going to feel this very strongly, and it's very likely some of you are going to be traveling, planning trips, maybe meeting people, foreign cultures, foreign lands. Maybe you're writing a book. Maybe you're starting a podcast. Maybe you're going back to school. Maybe you're learning something. Maybe you have a kismet moment if you're in school where you sitting next to someone that turns out to be your soulmate, right? Whatever it is. This is big. And remember the biggest takeaway. If Venus is what your heart desires, if Venus is what brings you pleasure, Mars is the action you take to get it. So take that action. Mars is in your sign and vibrate at a high frequency. And yeah, I'm going to say that today because what did I say about kismet moments? This is magnetism, like I said. So if you're vibrating at that high frequency, you're at a 10. Of love and compassion and spirituality and kindness, all of that, right? You're just going to pull things in, okay? So please do not book that solo trip to Antarctica this week. You're going to want to be present. You're going to want to be around. And this is the last Mars and the last Venus aspect of the month. So please use this. Go on a fun date. A first date, whatever you want, okay? Be active, yeah? Build a tree house with the kids. Go take your lover to the music store, the Blockbusters, the vintage one. It's Gemini season. Listen, be creative, be curious, do whatever you need to do, okay? You got 11th house activity, by the way. Do something on social media. This is when something could go really viral. Start a new TikTok dance. All right. Go audition for Hamilton. Just do something. That's all. Just do something. Use this. You're going to feel this all week. All right. And because Mars is in your sign, you're probably just going to do. All right. So I really love what's happening here for you because that's not it. What else is happening this day? The moon is going to be in Aries. When the moon is in Aries, by the way, all right, that's you wanting to take action. Remember, Aries is the beginning. It's like, let's do this. Let's go. It's spirited. It's courageous. It's bold. It's confident. Okay. So you're just going to be doing things anyway, but it's not just the moon in Aries. You got the moon, Neptune, and Sirius all conjuncting in Aries. Yes, you got a triple conjunction. This is at 1 degree, remember, of initiating. And we'll talk more about it in the second spread. But remember, Sirius officially moved into Aries last week. And that is such a big deal for you, Leo. All right. Second spread we'll talk about. Don't forget, you got Chiron and Eris in Aries in your 9th house as well. Conjuncting. But this is the week they perfect. Remember, Eris is Mars' sister, the goddess warrior with Chiron. They perfect. Okay. Now, we'll talk about it in the second spread, but this is truly a fierce entrance to the weekend. All right. So everybody's going to feel this. Everybody. 1,000%. And we do also have a stellium. We have a conjunction. We have a triple conjunction in Pisces as well on Wednesday. Again, there is something here big when you've got the moon, Saturn, and the North Node all together at 29 degrees in Pisces and your 8th house of wealth and relationship building and your personal transformation. It's kind of like that, like I said, graduation, but also like a last gasp before you move into the new. All right. And just because I love you, Leo, I'm going to tell you one more thing that we're going to talk about in the second spread. On the next day, on May 23rd, while Venus is trining Mars is in your sign, you will have the moon conjunct Venus, which is one of the top moon aspects, one of the top lunations you could ever have. So let's move on. May 24th, and of course, we'll talk about more. All right. May 24th, May 25th, depending on where you live. All right. Because this is happening at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 24th. And that's New York City time. If you want to convert that to wherever you live in the world, welcome to the least boring weekend of the month, by the way. Saturn officially moves into Aries. I am going to do a separate video, maybe a live stream on this. Saturn and Neptune together in Aries. Remember, this has only happened, 7 times in modern human history. This is big, all right? This is huge. The last time was over 300 years ago. And Saturn moving into Aries, this is a 30-year cycle, right? 29 and a half year cycle. So last time you experienced Saturn in Aries was the late 90s, 96, 99. And he's here until September with Neptune. And that's the other thing. If you think about what happened for you in your life around that time, the late 90s, what's happening now? It's very different. It's going to be very, very different. Yes, there's going to be some patterns you pick up, but Saturn is with Neptune, but that's not it. There's a lot more that I explained in your May forecast that makes it like night and day. Now, this is happening all summer. That's going to give you a preview of February 2026 and beyond. But to be a lot more accurate here, it's barely a preview because you've already begun. You're already in stage 1 of Saturn in Aries. Because remember, mid-March, that 6th planet conjunction, once in a lifetime, over the 0-degree Aries point with the new moon solar eclipse in Aries, with the equinox in Aries, with Neptune moving into Aries, with Venus in Aries. Yes, remember, Venus has been flip-flopping between Pisces and Aries for so long. Remember, Eris and Chiron in Aries. You have been working on this for a long time. Chiron actually moved into Aries in 2017. You've been working on this since 2017. And a lot of y'all don't even know it. But I'm telling you now. And listen, Aries, again, rules your 9th house, which is the house of the god, right? It's natively Jupiter ruled. It's all about inner wisdom. It's all about spirituality, your belief system, everything that I said earlier, your philosophies, your worldview, all right? But also education, higher mind, okay? And it's also like, yeah, a lot of y'all are going to be going back to school. A lot of y'all are going to become teachers, the role models, the leaders, okay? Spiritual leaders, all right? And when I say spiritual, when I use the word spirituality, it means something different for everybody. And so just kind of like baseline, meaningful. What are you doing in your life, bringing into your life that's meaningful? This is the 9th house. And again, it's all about wisdom, all right? Jupiter does everything that Jupiter does to make you wiser and to help you grow and to bring, and that's how it brings out abundance in your life, because it is a power of manifestation. But also 9th house, like I said, is everything I mentioned earlier: travel, long distance travel, okay? Foreign cultures, foreign lands, as well as publishing and broadcasting. You got a lot going on for you. I love this. Okay. So, welcome, right, to this new stage that you've already begun the process. You've already been doing the paperwork, and welcome to your brave new world. And I said brave. Okay. We're talking about Aries energy. And remember what I said last week. And I really want this to be a key takeaway. This is truly out with the old, in with the new. Pluto in Aquarius has already been breaking things down for you. That's what Pluto does, okay? For you to have your breakthrough, for your new era. And Pluto is working with Saturn. Again, who is karma, who's life lessons, who's discipline, for new structures now, new systems, a new direction, and new rules for you for the long term. Whatever rules you want to set. And what's happening here is once in a lifetime, okay? Remember, Saturn and Neptune are conjuncting in Aries. Yes, they're conjuncting. This is powerful. And they will be all summer. It's not a one, like this is going to pass, right? Mercury conjuncting Uranus, that'll pass. You'll feel it. And it's like a cycle. But you got Saturn and Neptune together, 1 degrees all summer. Come on. That's strong. And remember, their perfection is in February 2026. That's why I bring up February 2026. All right? Because that's when they perfect and they meet at the same degree. And it's the 0 degree point. And we'll talk about that in the, the video that I do. And I've already talked a lot about it, but this is just your big moment. And when I say big moment, you're going to be the one that empowers and inspires and contributes to the collective like everyone else, but more so you. It is your 9th house. This is big. This is really, really, really big. And Saturn, by the way, natively rules your 6th house and your 7th house. So what does that mean? There's all summer an element of partnerships, of relationships, of legal matters, okay? As well as work. There's something here with work for y'all in a really big way. Maybe even health. Maybe you're becoming the doctors. Maybe you're becoming the vets. The 6th house is pets. So it does not matter if you are a writer or a CEO or a doctor or an artist or a business owner or a grandmother or a mother or a son or daughter. Everyone is impacted by this in different ways, but all that matters is that you matter, all right? Because that's what's happening here. This is all your role that you play for the collective. Remember, this is year of the collective. So it's you contributing, all right, in whatever that you do, all right? This is really, really big. And this is the beginning of something new in your world, all right? And also within you, of course, this is your 9th house. So don't forget what I said in your monthly forecast. The most critical thing here, wax on, wax off, all right? Saturn in Aries will require patience. So it's that Mr. Miyagi energy, wax on, wax off. The two most powerful warriors are patience and time. Who said that? I've brought that up before. Who said that? Leave in the comments. Very, famous writer. All right, so, and by the way, Saturn, like I said, is time. Kronos, right? He's the last of the traditional planets. Now entering the first of the zodiac, Aries, the first. Nothing would exist without Aries. Astrology would not exist without Aries. It is the beginning. So yes, again, congratulations, because you're coming to the end of a 29, 30-year cycle. Saturn is the world card in tarot, all right? The end of the major arcana. And he's traveling with Neptune, the hanged man, which is connected to the world card. And again, this is 0 to 1 degrees. This is the first time in 320 years no one on Earth has experienced what's happening here, unless you are a vampire or an oak tree. All right. But remember, it's Saturn and Neptune together, and they're Saturn sextiling Uranus and trining Pluto. Remember, Uranus is moving into Gemini in 2 months from now, the first time in 84 years. Pluto in Aquarius, that's the first time in 250 years. Are you joking me? Like, this is, so when I say Saturn is those are auspicious aspects. So when I say Saturn making things easy for you, yeah, please use this, okay? He's still going to test you. He's still going to put on his aviators. There's going to be some moments where we do have some aspects where Saturn's going to come in hard. But for now, he's letting you come in and test this area out, okay? And this is going to be a very different feel, all right? This is where you see a lot more clearly what gives you purpose and drive, what makes your life meaningful enough to do the work that Saturn requires. And you're going to feel this, and you're going to want this, and it's going to make you feel good, and you're going to feel ambitious. Why? Because Saturn's moving into Aries, fire, giving you that fuel. All right. Saturn in Aries, by the way, is a contradiction. Okay. Because Saturn is slow, and he is old, and he is cold, and he's heavy, and he's very patient. He's time. He's got all the time in the world. Aries is fast and young and fiery and fearless and impatient, and he doesn't wear a watch. So, very interesting energies, but you've got to throw in Neptune. They're together, Saturn and Neptune. You got to throw in the trines and the sextiles. And so, yes, we'll talk more about this as time moves on. But remember, Neptune's your dreams. Saturn's turning your dreams into reality right now. The last thing I'm going to say about this is that remember, the lower expressions of what can happen here is illusion and delusion and confusion and escapism. So that's why you want to vibrate at the higher frequency, the higher expressions, and you want to be the change you want to see in the world. Okay? You be the change. Who said that? Who said that? That was I brought him up before, and someone who was born with Neptune in Aries. Anyway, wax on, wax off. You'll be rewarded. Learn, grow, have a plan. You'll be rewarded. Go with the flow, flow with the go, because at this point, the past is now the past, right? We call the past for a reason, and everything is cyclical, as you know. It's another cycle. It's just another cycle, right? We're cycles within cycles, right? The North Node, all of that, new cycle. We're in a Jupiter-Saturn cycle. So again, this is just Saturn. You pass this test, you work with his rules, you pass, all right? But he will require you to leave old structures and patterns and ways of thinking and systems behind for all the amazing new things that await for you on the other side. And again, this is your 9th house. So for a lot of y'all, this is going to be something spiritual. You've gone through your big transformation where Saturn was in your 8th house of transformation for the past few years. And now this is your next step, right? Within your cycles. And yes, Albert Einstein, by the way, Saturn and Aries. He was born in Saturn and Aries. Now, anyway, so everyone's gonna feel this greatly, all right? If you're a cross watcher, if your birth chart, right? If you have any planets between 0 to 3 degrees in any other cardinal signs, yeah, you will really, really feel this, okay? And that is Aries, Capricorn, Cancer, and Libra. Now, but of course, everyone's going to feel this. Now, on the same day, by the way, you got more career stuff. We'll talk about the second spread with something else happening with the lunations. Now, and fame. Same day, you got the Sun trine Pluto. This is huge for you. This is absolutely huge. And this is why you're going to be really social this week. Well, the Sun trine Pluto, just to let you know, it only happens like twice a year on average. Yes, we've had this in the past, but again, it was very different, right? It was earlier in the year when things were a little. This, you're going to feel profoundly, and that's what this aspect is. It is profound. This is that visceral, supercharged power that you feel, that unstoppable, on top of the world energy. This is the Sun, your ruler, that life force with Pluto, which is power and transformation and empowerment. Remember, I just said you had Saturn North Node in your 8th house. Guess who rules the 8th house? It's Pluto. That's why you've been really feeling it, and now you're going to really feel it. But this is a trine, and this is Pluto in Aquarius, a sign of the future, right? So this is when you feel power that you never thought you had inside you, something literally transforming your life. And it's likely you doing something because you've got so many other things happening here for you. This gives you confidence, that self-belief, strong self-esteem. And remember, last week you did all your shadow work. Yeah, with that full moon, it's done. You're just like, bring it on. Let's go. Because you know doors are opening for you at this point. Why? Because you have the keys and you're unlocking them. That's what this is. This is the power of attraction. This is that life force energy. It's very, let it be known. I have a magic wand and I'm going to use it because Sun trine Pluto is influential. It's you leaving an impression, a footprint. Okay. And you're going to feel this till the end of the month. This is power. This is power. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius will feel this the most. And I'm going to throw you in and Scorpio as well. Now, if you have planets 0 to 6 degrees in fixed or mutable signs, you'll feel it. All right. You know what you're also going to feel? You're going to feel, Leo, you're going to feel restless, mind and body this day. Okay. You know why, by the way? And I say that in terms of, in a good way, very stimulated, as if you're about to go meet J-Lo. You're about to go meet Chris Hemsworth, fellow Leos, by the way. Because the same day you got Mercury conjunct Uranus. Okay, this is absolutely bonkers for you because of everything that's been building up to this moment. Now, Mercury conjunct Uranus and Taurus at 27 degrees is really big. It's happening in your 10th house of fame. So, and when I say fame, it's public recognition. Like I said, it's very public facing, the 10th house. So it could just be you getting that recognition within your industry, within your neighborhood, within your family, wherever you want it, but also, yes, global scale. Okay. The solar system. This is your 10th house. This is really big. This is a powerful conjunction. This is once a year. This is a mic drop. And remember, Uranus this is breakthroughs. This is you having breakthroughs in work, in career, in fame, but also finances. It's in Taurus, okay? Material possessions, love, creative projects. This is sparks of clarity, light bulb moments. This is Uranus. This is you having epiphanies that come out of nowhere about your future. This is you having new experiences out of the blue, surprise messages, contracts, agreements that you never expected, or you make it happen because that's what Uranus asks you to do. Uranus says, use me for your awakening. Uranus is freedom. Uranus is shaking things up. Therefore, you will be shaking things up, or you will find things shaking things up. And it's with Mercury, the mind, and communication. This is big. This is big, okay? And there's something here shifting your perspective, all right? It's very stimulating. So please think outside the box. It's Uranus, all right? This is huge. These two planets together, creative, inventive, original, rebellious, pioneering, inspiring, all about the future, how you're seeing your future, or getting news about your future, things that will change your life for your future. In the end, change. That's all this is. It's that awakening, Uranus, the great awakener. In Taurus at 27 degrees, you remember the Uranus Cazimi we had last week at 27 degrees, a mutable degree, the Gemini degree during Gemini season, the Jupiter in Gemini at this time. Yes, this is definitely going to be something, communication, messages, learning new things. This is big, all right? Everything that I just said about Gemini season, right? All that Gemini energy. And again, there's going to be something here with your long-term goals, wishes, hopes, dreams, your social network. You're going to be networking, allies, benefactors, communities, but also career and fame. But the biggest takeaway, yeah, Uranus can bring shocking ideas and conversations and plot twists. But it's radical and it's innovation and it's revolutionary and it's a breakthrough. So it's all about change. Use it. Because there are some things that you know, with you coming out of your 8th house, yeah, you have that confidence to shake things up. This is also change of mindset. Freedom, as I said, is Uranus. Freeing your mind. Q in vogue. Free your mind and the rest will follow. All right, man, I don't know the rest of that song. But anyway, just think, do, or say something new and have your breakthrough. And consider this a new cycle. Like I said, conjunctions are essentially planting seeds too. All right, this is not a boring day. You're going to see things happen because this is how, look at everything else that's happening at this time. And then next week, again, don't forget, you got that new moon in your 11th house of your future hopes and wishes and dreams. While Mercury's trining Pluto, like I can't, so you see what's building up to that. And lastly, you will never, ever, ever, ever have Uranus conjunct Mercury in Taurus ever again. Yeah? Remember, Uranus is moving into Gemini. 2 things here for you. A, this is last one, right? 84 years. Last one in Taurus. B, like I said last week, Uranus does 1 gazillion times better in Gemini than it does in Taurus. And C, you've had Uranus in Taurus since 2018 in your 10th house of career and fame, where Uranus was just shaking things up and maybe causing a little chaos in career. It could have been great things because there were some great aspects, but again, Uranus just is better in Gemini, okay? Because Uranus is basically a detriment in Taurus, but you're a fire sign, Leo. Guess what blends better with your sign? It's air. It's Gemini. All right. So you're going to love this. You're going to love this. And Mercury is the lower octave of Uranus. Do you see how big this is? They're related. They rule air signs. Again, mind, communication, mind, communication. Uranus rules Aquarius, by the way. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, which is, it's my life story being an Aquarius and a Gemini rising and a Virgo moon. It's interesting, but listen, fixed signs, Taurus, you, Leo, Scorpio and Aquarius, and Virgo and Gemini will feel this the most. I'm also going to throw in Sagittarius and Pisces, all the mutable signs. Now, if you have planets in fixed signs, again, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, 25 to 29 degrees, 1000% you are going to feel this, okay? And again, there's this, the fact that there's, the moon will go into Taurus. Again, you have this while the moon is in Taurus as well, by the way. Yeah, we'll talk about in the second spread. You will feel this, all right? The moon is exalted in Taurus. Now, on the 25th, Mercury moves into Gemini, where it's home. Remember, this was the month Mercury was moving so fast. This is the third sign it's going to be in, but Mercury is now home. Mercury's now in its domain in Gemini. So for the next 2 weeks, literally everything that I just said about Mercury is just amplified to a whole other level. Right? Especially with networking. Again, this is your 11th house. You got a stellium, the sun, Jupiter, and Mercury now in your 11th house of networking and benefactors, allies, friendships, communities, social media. By the way, remember that. Use this, okay? And also your future hopes and wishes and dreams and long-term goals. Why is that? Because 11th house is Aquarius ruled. Who's Aquarius's ruler? Not only Uranus, which is the modern ruler, but Saturn. Okay? Saturn, who's all about the long term. So just get ready. Just get ready. You're gonna be very social. This is all about gaining knowledge, meeting new people, circulating. This is communication, travel, business, writing, ideas, networking. This is when you start craving that stimulation. You've got all this, and I'm going to do a separate video on Sedna. All right. Dwarf planet alert. One of the biggest reasons why we're going to have some really big changes in 2025, kind of leading the brigade here. She's up front with Pluto and a couple other planets is Sedna, and she just moved into Gemini for the first time in a very, 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 very long time. And she's at Gemini at 0 degrees. You're going to feel this. I'll do a separate video. This is a big deal. Mercury sextile Saturn that night. Amazing. Okay. Again, Saturn just moved into Aries. Mercury just moved into Gemini. What degree is this at? 0 degrees. So, you're never going to have this again. Never going to have Mercury in Gemini, sextile Saturn in Aries. Never, ever. At this degree, no. Remember, this is the degree of creation. Something new happening here for the long term. We're talking about Saturn, okay? So something here that is part of this, something big growing and brewing that's new in your life. And this is Mercury, okay? And Saturn's about the long term with Mercury. So this is likely for you some agreement, a contract, a business deal. This is negotiating. This is decision making. This is communication, marketing, PR, anything for the long term. Okay, writing a book, starting a website. This is all in Mercury's domain. Yeah, redoing your resume, opening an online store, opening a brick and mortar. It's becoming a teacher, mentor. And the fact that you've got Saturn Aries in your 9th house, oh yeah, a lot of y'all are going to be, and it doesn't have to be in a traditional sense. It can be you being a huge leader in your community or, again, on a global scale. This is really big, all right? Saturn does bring in that promise of the long term and rewards you when you put in the work. So I want you to think about this week. What is your magnus opus? What is your story that you're going to leave behind? This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Think, visualize, and take action. Everyone's going to feel this. It's at 0 degrees, but cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, and mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, Pisces, they're going to feel it the most, but everyone's going to feel this. If you have any planets in your sign, in your birth chart, sorry, 0 to 2 degrees, and any of the signs that I just mentioned, okay, cardinal, mutable, you'll feel it. Let's get started, Leo. There's so much other, this is just one of those bonkers weeks where so much is happening, and they're all auspicious, and they're all just so great. So let's do it. Leo, let's see what's going on for you, okay? For May 19th to the 25th for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, Leo. Leo, y'all, come on. Y'all are so much fun. Y'all are hilarious. Thanks so much for being here. This sun is on my neck. It is. I could cook a steak off my neck right now, but it feels good. Leo, I love y'all. I love y'all. I do a traditional cult across spread, offers the best overview. If we need a pull clarifiers, you know that we will. Secondly, you're amazing. You're amazing. Let's see what's going on. Okay. I'm gonna have to, okay. You get that? You get a mic drop? You are also getting, I don't know who this is, but, okay. I'm part of a sticker club. I don't know if you get Aaron Paul. You're good. You're good. One of the things, if you are a cross watcher, if you have watched for your rising or your moon or any other, sign, or for anyone else, when I say this is a significant week, the fact that every sign is pretty much only getting court cards and major arcana, that means this is like, okay, so you got all major arcana court cards. This is going to be a significant week for you. And what did I say about that shift in perspective? You've already begun. You got the Hanged Man. I brought the Hanged Man up, right? Neptune, which moved into Aries in your 9th house of your belief system and your perspective. Now, remember I said out with the old, in with the new? That's what this is. Hangman comes right before the Death card. He's preparing for himself for this really big transformation, okay? You see the halo around his head. He's ready. He's excited. You see the smile on his face. What did I say? The Hanged Man there's a link, okay? We'll keep it very light, a link to the world card. Why? His legs are crossed just like the dancing figure in the world card. I'll talk about it some other time, but just know you're going through this huge spiritual process right now, but you're also letting things go. Of course, we're coming out throughout full moon where it's doing that shadow work and letting things go anyway. The end of things for your new beginning. That's, Scorpio rule is a native ruler of the 8th house. Remember, it was a Pluto ruled new full moon in Scorpio. And you've got the North Node and Saturn in your 8th house. Anyway, there you go. Good for you. Good for you. Look at new things. Open new doors. You've got the keys this week, Leo. Okay? But again, a lot of this is about here. What did I say with this week of Mercury being active, Gemini season? A lot up here. All right? But also spiritually, Saturn moving into Aries in your 9th house where you've already got Venus there. You've already had so much happening there. All right? Chiron and Aries there. But the last thing, this is surrender. This is sacrifice. Okay? You're making that great sacrifice. And again, yes, it can be spiritually. It can be something in your physical world where you realize, nope, not for me. Okay? Because you have that inner wisdom. You've been growing. Saturn's been there. I love this because look at what happens when you change that perspective and you have that shift. You have the Page of Swords and the heart of your spread. So what did I say about out with the old, in with the new? Pages bringing that fresh new energy. Swords are the mental suit up here. Yeah? Communication, thinking, ideas, all of that. You're ready to go. You're ready to go. Look at him with that sword. He's enthusiastic. He's also like a sponge. He's craving stimulation. Like I said, you are going to feel this week. And there's definitely something new that you're learning or you're starting or you're launching in your physical world that puts you in this place where you're seeing things in a new way or learning something in a new way. Maybe you are launching a business and this is your first business. Maybe you've never worked with LLCs. And now this is that thing where you're like, oh, I got to do an LLC. You know what I mean? Like, this is big. This is big. Okay. You got that Ace of Pentacles too. It's in your challenge area. So what I'm going to tell you here, it's Ace of Pentacles, new path, right? Money, finances. It's the biggest pentacle in the deck. The hand of spirit offering it to you. What did I say about this week? There's things that's just going to happen for you. All right. It is in your challenge area though. And this is also your physical world, new path, new journey, new job, things like that, right? Side hustle, whatever you want. It being in your challenge area, it's just saying, keep your eyes on the ball. Keep your eyes on the prize, because this, remember, he's a little new, right? Paige, a little new. It's fine because look, you gotta look at the entire spread. You're going to be fine. But it's just saying, anything that new that you're launching, let's stay, focused on it and let's just go, right? It's just keeping your eyes on the ball on your new path. Second thing is, there's maybe something that you wanted that hasn't come in yet. Keyword is yet. It is only a weekly reading. What did I say? Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. Okay? Practicing that patience. He's a little impulsive. He's a little impatient. He's like, let's go. Let's do it. You have that patience? That's coming. But a lot of y'all are already on it. Really, a lot of y'all, it's like, here's the thing. Nothing can happen unless you have that change of mindset, unless there's something spiritual that touches you spiritually, right? Have that moment. But again, a lot of y'all are just going to feel it anyway. You've had the North Node activated. You have Jupiter sextiling Chiron and the North Node. You have the Empress in your crown. Yeah. What did I talk about Venus trine Mars, by the way? That's the biggest energy coming up for you this week with Mars in your sign. And I'm not like, listen, all of the energies are big for you. This is everything. This is a goddess. You have Aphrodite here in your crown, wearing a crown with the constellations. It starts everything. This is Miss Universe here, holding that golden scepter. Remember, what did I say about this week? And then with this, anything she touches turns to gold. This is abundance. This is luxury. You're Leos. You love luxury. There you go. All right. But 3, 1 + 2 = new reality. Yeah. Birth of new things. She's even pregnant. Therefore, creation. Okay. You're thinking of something really new. It's clear as day here. And you love it. It could be a new idea that you have, or something that you're already in that you've created for yourself, or something opening up for you. And you're like, finally. And it feels really good. And this is relationships. This is love, but it's anything you want. It's new. That's all you have to know. When I say she's pregnant, look at the pomegranates all over her gown, representing that fertility and that growth within your world. But also, she's outdoors. So first, spend some time in nature, please, right? But she's free. She's comfortable. Look at the way that she's just lounging, all right? And that's what you want. You got Venus in the stone-shaped area. Venus is trining Mars in your sign this week. Venus, what your heart desires, right? But even look at the golden wheat. It's a new crop. There's something new. 1,000% building in your world. Now, you got the moon and the Ridier spread. That's fine. Go deep. Trust your intuition. That's all you got to do. There's still some things, like let's say little tests that you still got to go through, but it's more subconscious, okay? It's more subconscious. Just, you see those columns there? You're that little crayfish. You just got to break those down. In order to do that, what you got to do, you got to trust your intuition, okay? So remember, Saturn separating with the North Node, Saturn leaving Pisces, all in your 8th house, which as, it can also be very, psychological. But the moon in tarot just happens to be attributed to Pisces anyway. And so there's, again, At 29 degrees, just consider it like that last gasp. What is that one last thing that I don't want to bring into this new world? All right. And again, it really is just trusting your intuition. It's all about your emotional evolution too. Feel it in your gut. You got the moon, intuition, in the root of your spread. Just feel it here. Okay? Have that emotional evolution. King of Swords in your future. You go straight from the Page of Swords to the King of Swords. You're going to fast. Everything's fast. Everything's fast for you. Okay? That's why I want you to practice that patience too. Because there can be some things that just go, come on, Page of Swords to the King of Swords, right? That's growth. That's like a growth spurt that you go into that I feel is like, oh, that's happening strongly. However, here's the thing. This is your future. Where you're at now, where you're going to, this new thing that you're going to be started this week. Oh, yeah. When I say you're going to become the leader, you're sitting in this throne. Okay? And it does, like I said, it doesn't matter what you do or where you put that energy. You got to feel it and you got to put that energy there and you're going to be good and you're going to be fine. And the King of Swords is all about power and authority. Great decision maker, great leader, especially with communication. This is someone who's got his head above the clouds. This is someone who's got so much power. He is the decision maker. Yeah. Ready to strike whenever he wants. This is someone who has brilliant ideas. You're good. You're good. Someone who, by the way, look across, right? He's the only king that looks directly at you. Yeah? He has nothing to hide. He's faced all his truths, okay? All of them. An honest king. But this is amazing. You're good. Let's get to you're moving into this big, powerful leadership, even feeling it within you. Let's get to your stuff. Leo, if you like this reading, it would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. Tell me what's going on. Leo, y'all are amazing. And you really just use this Mars and Leo. You got Mars in your sign. This is going to be another 2 years before you get Mars in your sign. Take all that action. Take all that action. Don't. I can't. What the fax machine? You're good AF. You don't need no clarifiers like all the other. Look. Okay, so you got the Six of Pentacles. Perfect. Amazing. This is all about like that generosity of spirit. This is all about gratitude. What did I talk about? That spirituality that you're going to be feeling, especially with Jupiter moving into Cancer, right? That is your 12th house too. That's happening next month. We'll talk about next month. But at the same time, with you got Saturn, Neptune, Ceres in your 9th house. I mean, this is huge. This is that inspired action. You see the philanthropic man here supporting others. This is you. You are that leader. You're that person that you're like the rock for other people. And if you're seeking the support, same way. It works either way. But this is that. Remember, I talk about that inspired action all the time because action literally translates to karma, right? In Sanskrit, it means action. I always say, take the inspired action. You see the scale in a sense. So there is a sense of like this balance that it brings, but there's a lot more to it. But this is a Taurus card too, by the way. So in your physical world, it's just, you're going to see this. Like you are that shining light, but it's the inspired actions that you take for the greater good. With the Six of Pentacles, but a lot of y'all are already doing that. You've already had a calling in terms of what you want to do, where people look up to you. Literally, they're looking up to, yeah. But again, if it's you that's seeking support right now, maybe even financially, it is Pentacles. But remember your physical reality, same thing. All right, you're gonna find. It's gonna happen. You're gonna figure out, but you got to take that action now. You got Justice. Of course you got Justice. Look at all these swords, right? You got the Page of Swords, King of Swords. Now you got Justice, right? In your external factors area. Two things here. A, look at his sword. His sword, the Judge, his sword is pointed straight to the sky. It's connected to the cosmos, to the ether, to the divine. Use that sword. Anything that you need to use it, that brings that balance. You see, you got the only 2 cards in all of tarot where they have the scale. All right. Balance is going to be really big. And when I talk about balance, yeah, mind, body, spirit, internal, physical world, what's not working, what needs to go, what needs to bring that balance, what's too much of something, that balance. Okay. Amazing. This is absolutely amazing because it looks like there is someone that's going to be, very pivotal in your life. It's in your external factors area. So, a lot of y'all, it's something that's happening within your world where you're already doing it this week. You will be, all right, for that balance. B, yeah, someone in your life, okay? The ninth house, by the way, there is legal matters as part of the ninth house as well. The courts, okay? And you do see the judge here. So there may be something here, but it's all in your favor. Yeah. It's like justice is highly associated with karma as well. And so there's something like, as in you're cashing in your karma points. And then remember, you've got all this Pluto and Aquarius activity in your seventh house of legal matters too. There may be something here with partnerships, relationships. Some of y'all may be moving into like getting married, new business partner. Okay, so keep that in mind. There's some great stuff happening for you. All right, the devil, but where it falls in your spread, it's amazing because it's saying like, no more. I've done my shadow work. I do not want to, get in my own way. I do not want to do anything that the devil card represents, which is, obsessions, codependency, bad behaviors, pessimistic thinking, right? You see two people from the Lover's card chain to the devil, right? So they can break free. And it seems like you already have. And there is a sense where, yeah, this is a week where you're like, I never want to be chained like that again. And you won't. You're good. You're fine. You got the Four of Wands, a card of celebration, a card of milestones in your final outcome, where this is a huge domestic vibe to this. So there could be some home, family, getting married, getting proposed to. And again, it's wands. It can be new partnership in career, you starting your own business, everything that I just mentioned. This is the huzzah card. Yeah. It could be you having a baby. It could be you, doing something where you get recognized in your community. Whatever it is, this is fun and exciting and indicative of more to come. This is really amazing. This card, by the way, is attributed to Venus and Aries. And you have Venus and Aries trining your sign all week, right? Venus, love, relationships, money, creativity, all of that. You're absolutely good. You see, you only got 2 pip cards, right? You see how significant this week is going to be for you as you move into this huge role. You're amazing. Leo, one of your best. Okay, Leo, thanks so much. If you like this reading, it would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. And yeah, second spread, we're going to go deep. There's a lot of, I just told you about that triple conjunction in Aries, the triple conjunction with your North Node. Of course, the asteroids, the planetoids, they've come out to play. And when was the last time you saw the moon conjunct Venus? We'll talk about it. So tier 3 members, you know where to find the link. And that's happening when when Venus trines Leo in your sign. Tier 3 members, you know where to find the link. Anyone's welcome to join. Leo, y'all are amazing. And remember, all of this is building up to the new moon in Gemini next week. One of the best new moons. This is one of the best weeks. I told you May is one of the most auspicious months as we leave those heavy energies of April. Y'all are amazing, Leo. I love y'all so much. I'll see you next week. All right. Bye-bye.